I thanks Sabrina, like for the high notes.
High notes.
But I'm not simply the best. You all are
Of
simply the best.
course.
The amount you fascinate me and the amount of work that you all can do. I really wonder what's going to happen, what's happening in my brain as when I see you all doing so many different things. And that is really what we want everyone to do. I like the videos that Peter shared this week. It was on neuroplasticity, and he spoke, and the videos also spoke about brain cell pruning, which is something that everyone needs to understand. We want to highlight the fact that we can learn irrespective of our age. We can still learn, and the more you learn, we do what is called we open up new pathways. And there is something called cognitive compensation. So even if one pathway is destroyed because of some disease that you may get later on, the other pathways will compensate and you will be functional. So that is what we want to encourage everyone to do. And this concept of use it or lose it is there in the brain. So if you don't use certain sections of your brain will perceive that as that part is not required, and it will go into sleep mode. So you need to activate every part and every cell of your brain. If you actually see, I was imagining Susie's brain and Sabrina's brain after. It'll be like this macrame thing that you have all networked and all neurons all over the place, like it's going to be that. And that is what's helpful. I told you once about a study called the Nun study. It was done in the US, where they studied the brains of nuns who were in a convent. They studied their brains. They would live long. Some of them would get dementia. Some of them would not have dementia, would be perfectly fine even when at the time of their death. So when they died, they donated their brains for research purposes. And they found that the nuns who were using very complex language, they used to maintain a diary. So when they looked at that diary, when they used a very complex language or what we call idea dense, those nuns were less likely to get dementia or Alzheimer's disease or have brain damage later on. The ones who use the very simple language are the ones who are more likely to get that. Language plays a very important role in developing our brain, whether it's the white matter or the gray matter, whether it's the volume or the density, whether it's this connectivity of the neurons. Everything gets stimulated and gets promoted by learning languages. A lot of studies that say people who have a bilingual brain are kind of, to some extent, resistant to having this kind of cognitive decline. I would say that all of us are bilingual in a country like ours. We always know two languages. So it's not only having a bilingual brain, but it is about challenging your brain. So if you know two languages, learn the third one. So that's what we want you to tell. So and today is a wonderful day because we're starting this new section called Mind Your Language, which is going to be mind your language, as in that, not the other mind your language, but you're going to learn new languages. And it's known in research that if you learn more languages, it processes various parts of your brain and activates various centers in your brain. And it's one of very good method of trying to improve the brain cells and network within your brain and develop what I call cognitive compensation. So it's important for you to do that. And so enjoyed this new section and learn new languages and teach others new languages. It's not about learning, but also speaking it too. So if you have grandchildren at home or children at home, just start talking a new language with them and see the fun. So that's what's going to really increase the, it's not about knowing things, but also sharing it with others. Burley said something very important, that the 5th of June is World Environment Day. Now you'll say, why I want to talk about World Environment Day when I'm talking about the brain and all that kind of stuff, and how does the environment affect the brain? It does affect the brain. I spoke about the study that we had done and we had published in the Lancet a few years ago. We looked at all the research in the world and what affects brain and what can actually prevent Alzheimer's disease and cognitive decline. And we found that air pollution is one of the important risk factor for cognitive decline. So if there is air pollution, you're subjected to air pollution, it kind of destroys the brain cells, as a result of which over time, the person develops cognitive decline or difficulty in remembering things, and ultimately may even get a condition like Alzheimer's disease. So it's important for us to understand this. This year, the United Nations, who celebrates the World Environment Day, it's the 50th year of this celebration. And it's very important that they're stressing on that. As Burley rightly said, the environment is our responsibility. It's our responsibility for us, it's our responsibility for our family, and it's our responsibility for the future. So it's important for us to be cognizant of the fact that we need to give this good environment to the rest of the generations to come. And we need to take care the theme this year is beat plastic pollution. So we need to make sure that, all of us will know, if you look into yourselves and your own lives, how much of plastic waste we have generated ourselves. So we need to be aware of that. Don't feel guilty about it, but we need to be aware of that and bring about a change and make sure that we will take care of environment. So that was the sit for the day. All the best.